Hey everybody, I am back. It is Erica and this is Batty Chatty number 29 and we are talking werewolves today. Gonna wait to have some people on here. Hey everybody, it's werewolf day. I've got a lot of notes on werewolves and I love werewolves. I love werewolf movies. Hey Brian, hey Antonio. So I've been promising a werewolf show. Hey Adam. Hey Logan, how's it going? So I finally got it going. Anyway, so what is everybody's, hey Kat, what is everybody's favorite werewolf movie or favorite werewolf change? I have to say, I love American Werewolf in London. Hey Ryan, how's it going? It's been my favorite forever. I'm good, Adam. How are you? It has been my favorite forever. I even watched it today because we were going to have this show. Hey Wayne, how's it going? Late Phases was amazing and people don't talk about it enough. You know, I have that on my my list. The Howling, I particularly, you know, I don't know. I have not actually seen Late Phases, and I know I need to, and I know a lot of people really love that movie. I have not actually seen it, but it is on my list to see. Let's see here. American Werewolf in London and the Wolfman 2010 remake. You know, I actually really liked the Wolfman 2010 remake. I know a lot of people don't care for it, but I actually really like it. Sheila, original Wolfman. That's actually the very first horror movie I ever saw was the original Wolfman. And I was 3 years old and my parents didn't think that it was, you know, that scary and that I shouldn't be really scared of it. And it gave me nightmares for several years. I thought the Wolfman was looking in through my window at night. But that's not to say I didn't love it, because I did and I still do. Let's see here. Hey, Xavier, Silver Bullet. Yes, Silver Bullet is a great one. You know, Silver Bullet's werewolf always looks kind of like a giant teddy bear to me, even though he's supposed to be scary. But I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. Let's see here. Myself, I just love werewolves and wolves in general. You know, I happen to agree with you, Xavier. Hi, I am too old at 60 to say I still love. Am I too old at 60 to still say you love Halloween? Angela, absolutely not. My mom is 70 and she still loves Halloween. So I don't think you ever grow out of something like that. If you love it, you love it. And I know I'm going to love it till the day I die. So Ginger Snaps. Yes, Ryan. I absolutely love that entire franchise. The first one's super good. The second one, I love almost as much. And the third one, you know, back to the beginning, a lot of people don't really care for that one, but that's actually the very first one I saw. And I like all three Ginger Snap movies a lot. Kevin, I love Dog Soldiers, but I'm disappointed that there isn't a transformation scene. Thoughts? I have to agree with you. I really like Dog Soldiers too, and I was kind of bummed that there really isn't a transformation scene. I mean, I really like transformation scenes. I like it when you see them transform. Now, some movies definitely do it way better than others. But, what do you do? American Werewolf and The Howling. The Howling, I love The Howling. American Werewolf in London, I do love more. But Dee Wallace in the Howling was so great. And, the transformation scene, the bubbling and all that was just, I remember the first time I saw it I was really scared. It was really good. I really liked it. I actually thought it was a cool movie. Yeah, I need to see it. Angela Dixon, Never Too Old. Yes, definitely. Do you realize I have to shut your voice down in order to use voice recognition on my phone, because if I don't, whatever you say comes over my phone. Ain't that a hoot? That's pretty funny. When I have my voice recognition on my phone and I'm doing whatever, usually, movies and other things don't come through on it. So that's pretty funny. Let's see here. The beginning of the Thriller video. Antonio, I forgot to write that down. A lot of people love the Thriller video, especially because of that. And I remember when I first saw it, it was quite something to see. And so, yeah, I definitely have to give you that. Silver Bullet, The Howling is your favorite. Adrian, The Howling is great. I really do. Dog Soldiers is a great flick. I do. I think Dog Soldiers is a really great flick too. Let's see here. Ricky says, I watched American Werewolf in London as a child, and it was not until 21 that I got over it. I had to be held and watched it. I used to hide under the quilt when I heard it. Oh, you don't think of it as being scary, being an adult watching it. You don't really think of it as being scary, but it actually, some of the scenes, like when the wolf is chasing that guy in the subway, and I mean, some of those scenes are actually quite scary, or even in the theater. I mean, some of them are funny to me now, but as a child, I could see why you would have been totally scared. The Company of Wolves. Yes, The Company of Wolves. I haven't seen that one in a while, Wayne, and I need to revisit that. Absolutely. I remember watching it a long, long time ago. Blood and Chocolate. Yes, Xavier, Blood and Chocolate. I really like that movie. It's different, and the title kind of throws you off because you don't know it's a werewolf movie, but I actually really like that one. The original and sequel to The Howling. The Howling has so many sequels. I can't say that I like a whole lot of the sequels, but they do have some good ones. Cycle of the Werewolf or Silver Bullet. I don't think I've seen Cycle of the Werewolf. I'm gonna have to see that. Hey Julio, happy Friday. The Howling Reborn was actually decent. I think that was one of them that I was thinking that I liked, Adrian. Because they have, I don't know how many they have. They have I know they have at least 5. There may be 6. Heck, there could be more than that. But I know there's at least 5. Wolfen was odd, but good. Neil, I was watching Wolfen the other day, and my husband got home, and he was just like, what are you watching? And I'm like, I'm watching Wolfen. I haven't seen it in years, and I totally forgot about it. And it is odd, but still good. It is a little dated, but I like it. Bad Moon. There you go. Where? Also another one. The Howling. It's not very well known, but Kane Hodder was a great werewolf in Project Metal Beast. Antonia, I've never even heard of that. Thank you. I'll have to check that out. The TV series Werewolf 80s Cheese. The TV series Bitten. I just rewatched that not too long ago, and I actually like it. I mean, it's a little cheesy, but I really like that one as well for TV series. I don't think you can beat Rob Botton's transformation scene in The Howling. It is a really great transformation scene. It is. I love David Naughton's. I just can't get over how Rick Baker really made that come to life for me. She doesn't get better than The Lost Boys. I love The Lost Boys. I don't believe that I don't believe there's any werewolves in that though. I had The Howling on RCA video disc. How's that for a throwback? That is a throwback. That is quite a throwback. The movie Waxwork had a pretty good werewolf transformation scene. I'll have to revisit that one. I don't think I remember that transformation scene. Another one I really like, and not everybody does, is Cursed. The Wes Craven movie about werewolves with Christina Ricci. I really like that movie. And, the people that like it really like it, and the people that don't. But I enjoy that one quite a bit. The incredible Rick Baker is an artist of both American Werewolf in London and the makeup effects for Thriller. Oh, well, no wonder those effects were so good in Thriller. Not horror, but I like the transformation in the Underworld movies. I absolutely love the Underworld movies. I can't help it. Underworld is one of my favorite franchises. I love the first one. The second one is really good. The third one, Rise of the Lycans, I really, really love. The fourth is okay, and I really like the fifth. So, out of all of them, I do think the fourth is the weakest link. But the origins of Lucian and all of the werewolves and stuff was really cool. I thought they did a really good job on that. And I really like the werewolves because, they use some CGI, of course, but, they used a lot of practical effects, especially in the very first one. And I just really think that makes such a difference. Scott Speedman in Underworld. Yes. I think he did a really, really great job of being, the hybrid vampire wolf. Curse, the unrated edition, is very bloody and awesome. Children of the Night. I don't know that I've seen Children of the Night, Darren. Thank you. Excuse me. Let's see here. Where was good? I'm not sure I've seen Where, but I did have it written down. Another one that I wrote down that isn't really horror, but it is definitely werewolves, was Red Riding Hood from 2011. I can't help but love it because I love Gary Oldman and I love everything he's in. Amanda Seyfried also did a really great job in that movie. And I really like it. I think it's a beautifully shot movie in some of the shots. There was a Spanish movie which shared a famous Mexican wrestler called Santo versus Wolfman. I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Fernando. Jack Nicholson's Wolf is one of my favorite. Wayne, I really like that movie too. Wolf is a really great movie. I really like the show Wolf Lake. Wolf Lake. Adrian, I think I watched Wolf Lake. And I think I'm going to have to revisit that, but I'm pretty sure I watched that and really liked it too. Prettiest Werewolf Award goes to Oliver Reed. Is that the makeup person, Logan? Hashtag live, hashtag shared. Hey there from Kentucky. Hey, Patricia, thank you. Sorry to go off topic here, but you are a beautiful woman. Thank you, Matthew. That I really appreciate that. When I bought American Werewolf in London on digital, I was totally stoked. That, you know, as much as I love that movie, I do not have it on DVD. I need to get it. Yeah, as much I need to get it because, you know, I mean, it's on most streaming sites. Like I watched it on Amazon today, but you know, I need to get it too. Let's see here. Evening all. Hey John. I have the entire series on Blu-ray. Before Bonanza, Michael Landon was a werewolf and I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Yes, that is right. That is right. You know, I totally forgot about that. Yes, I love Underworld. Let's see here. Practical effects make a huge difference. I agree, John. I think practical effects make such a huge difference. And even if they're CGI enhanced a little, it doesn't really bother me. But if the main effect is practical, it makes a big difference for me. I mean, CGI can be great if it's really good, but if it's not, it's really, really bad and it can take you completely out of it. Hemlock Grove had the best transformation. American Werewolf in Paris, the remake, for overall and Underworld for their pack mentality. Otis, I totally forgot about Hemlock Grove for a second there. I absolutely love that transformation too. So brutal with the teeth coming out and all of that stuff. Very, very cool transformation. I actually have American Werewolf in Paris on TV right now. Now, I have it on just for comedy because I think it's funny and it's a fun movie. My go-to is always American Werewolf in London, but I do enjoy this one as well. Peter Totopoulos did the effects on Underworld series. Thank you. I was trying to think of his name. Thank you, Xavier. And of course, Wolfpack in Twilight. I wasn't going to mention the Twilight movies, but I don't really mind them for what they are. They're good for what they are, which is not horror movies. They're fantasy love stories with horror elements because, they're dealing with vampires and werewolves and witches and what have you. But yeah, I actually don't mind them. Let's see here. The Beast Among Us was pretty decent. I need to see The Beast Among Us. I was writing down some of these. Let's see here. One we haven't mentioned yet was Wolf Cop. Beast Among Us is right there. Van Helsing. Also, I really kind of liked the wolf in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Even though it isn't a werewolf movie, he does turn into a wolf and, get with Lucy there in the garden there for a while. But I thought that was a really cool wolf. Let's see here. Skinwalkers. Also, I liked Skinwalkers. There's another one called Big Bad Wolf from 2006. And also, I really, really liked. Let's see here. Oh, Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman. That was a funny one. I like all the Abbott and Costello. Meet Frankenstein, Meet Wolfman. I like all of those. Those bring me back to my childhood. I actually like The Wolves in Twilight. I did too. I didn't I didn't mind them at all. And they were so big. I kind of like, you know, because they were like gigantic, huge dire wolves or something. You do not have werewolf in London. Hashtag the horror. I know it is the horror. I know. I need to get it on DVD. My problem is I had it on VHS, and you know, for a long time I had one of those combo players, so I just didn't bother replacing a lot of my VHSs. And then when we got the Blu-ray, we put the combo player in the garage. So I mean, I still can play them, but it's in the garage. And so I don't play them. So I have all of my VHSs and the player in the garage. How about the film Howl? I really enjoyed that one. You know, Howl was good. I really liked that one too. It gets abused so often these days. Thank you so much for your page. As you see, we're a cool family of horror lovers. I have to agree, Neil, and thank you so much for being a part of the group. And thank you everybody for being a part of the group. It's just really cool to have so many people that love horror come together. And you know, most of the time we're able to have conversations without totally wanting to rip each other apart, because we do disagree, but you know, we all love the horror. So it's more of a comedy, but Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox was so much fun to watch. You know, they've been playing Teen Wolf quite a bit on some of the movie channels, and I watch it. I think it's fun, and I don't even mind the part 2 with Jason Bateman as his cousin. I liked that one too. Of course, the first one is better, but you know, what do you do? Also, you know, the Monster Squad has a Wolfman, and you know, everybody always loves saying the Wolfman has nards. Let's see here, Erica. If you buy American Werewolf in London, I would suggest getting the Steelbook edition. Thank you, Brian. I think I might have to do that. Let's see here. No, don't, please. Twilight are kitty wolves. They are kitty wolves, but everybody has to start somewhere. And I don't mind, you know, little horror light for people that are just breaking into the genre. It's good that there are some of these things out there to help get more horror fans in. You know, you aren't going to start off with Hellraiser. I mean, maybe you are, but most people don't. Classic Hammer horror. The Best Must Die. I have not watched a lot of the Hammer horror recently. I watched a lot of that when I was younger, and I loved it, but I just haven't seen very much of it recently. I need to get back to it. Twilight is a travesty to even be included in the horror genre. It's fluff and it's a joke. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not really horror. I love the werewolf and ginger snaps. I love ginger snaps. They're just so fun. Doesn't have anything to do with wolves, but the beginning of ginger snaps, where the first one, where they're taking all those crime scene photos of them being pretend dead. All of those photos during the opening credits are so cool. I love them. I just bought my 3rd copy of Van Helsing. I love Van Helsing. There is so much CGI in it, but I still really like it. And I mean, I just love Hugh Jackman, and I love Kate Beckinsale. And so, I mean, really, it's hard for me not to love that movie. I have an off one. Is Little Dead Rotten Hood. I've not seen that, Adrian. I'll have to check that out. Watchers with Corey Haim. I totally forgot about that, Mickey. Thank you. Let's see here. Hello. Hi, Armin. CGI was what my abuse comment was about. Oh, thank you. Yes. When they abuse CGI, it just gets, if it's over abused and overused, it's just so obvious. So yeah, I agree with you. Let's see here. Love that movie, Teen Wolf. Werewolf in London, 1935, and She-Wolf of London, 1946. Brian, I have to see those. I don't think I've seen those. Yeah, I don't think I've seen those. Did we go through all of what is... I think you guys said every single movie I wrote down. Curse, Van Helsing, Blood and Chocolate, Werewolf Beast Among Us, Wolf Cop, Where, Riding Hood, Late Phases. Yeah. The original Wolfman, the regular Wolfman, Never Cry Wolf, 2008. Did anybody mention that one? The werewolf in the original It movies. That's true. They did have a werewolf in the original 1990 It. I loved Hellraiser at 10. I was afraid to watch Hellraiser when I was younger. Same with Phantasm. I didn't see it. I probably didn't see that until I was close to 20. Best horror group on Facebook. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you. Where and How are good. Original ideas in the werewolf genre. Rod, you know, I also really like it when they do an original idea. You know, so many ideas have been done so many times. And although I love them, and, you know, I mean, they can just keep regurgitating similar werewolf stories and I'll keep watching them. But when they come out with a interesting and kind of new take on it, I really do enjoy that. I was getting to that, Wayne. Trick or Treat has one story involving werewolves, one of them including Anna Paquin, and they're hot as hell. I absolutely love the little mini story in Trick or Treat. Now, Trick or Treat is one of my favorite movies, but I love their werewolves because it's kind of unexpected. You don't expect, and I'm sorry if I'm ruining it for anybody that hasn't seen that movie, but you know, you don't expect those girls to be werewolves. And then when they are, it's like, oh yeah, this is cool. So yeah, I absolutely love that. Jennifer's Body. Were there werewolves in that? It is another movie I love though. Another off one is Full Eclipse. You know, I don't think I have that one on the list either. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you. Have we mentioned Love and Curses, also known as She-Wolf in London, a strange TV series? No, not unless Brian mentioned that. Thank you, John. Wish they would make more werewolf movies. I agree, Brian. You know, they probably, because there's a lot of effect, you know, it's a pretty effects driven movie, you know, makeup effects and or CGI, however they plan on doing it. You know, it's probably kind of a bigger budget, or they need to have kind of a bigger budget to pull some of that off. But I love it when they do make them, and I would love more. Those are on the Wolfman Legacy Collection. Thank you, Brian. The werewolf episode of The Night Stalker, a werewolf on a cruise ship. What a great idea. Oh, that is a good one. That would be a really great idea. Did anybody say Werewolf, the TV series, the TV show? No, but speaking of another TV show, they only had one season, was The Gates, I think it's called The Gates. and they have vampires, werewolves, witches, and kind of other worldly beings. They had some werewolves in that, and that I really liked that show. I was really bummed that they only had one season. Probably already been discussed, but my favorite movie of all time is Dog Soldiers. Awesome, Andrew. We have spoken a little bit about Dog Soldiers, but we didn't really go into it a whole lot. I really like that movie too, and I would love it if they did another one. That would be really, really cool. I haven't seen anything about that. I'm trying to think, there's a lot of movies that they have, little bits of they'll have a scene of werewolves, or, they'll have one show, like I'm pretty sure Supernatural had some werewolves in it at some point. I know they had shapeshifters, and you can sometimes, shapeshifters can't, werewolves, I consider that they're not the same thing, but I consider them kind of the same thing. I actually like the TV show Teen Wolf. Adrian, I agree with you. That TV show was really good. I really liked that. I thought that they did a really good job. The TV show True Blood also had werewolves. That's true. True Blood also had werewolves. And also, and I'm a fan of True Blood. I read the books and before they ever made the TV show, and so I was super excited when the TV show came out. When the TV show came out, I was a little bummed because they strayed from the story, but I liked it still. But yeah, no, it's a good one. And I liked all the different, fairies, and I like it when they have a bunch of different kind of supernatural beings in shows. Let's see here. The series, the originals were the best for you. Daniel, I don't know why the originals totally slipped my mind, but I'm a fan of Vampire Diaries and the originals. I do think the originals was more adult than Vampire Diaries. It was Vampire Diaries when it started was very teen-like, but I still really liked it. I couldn't help it. I really liked Damon. But yeah, I really like that show. Let's see here. SBN has 3 episodes of Werewolves that I'm aware of, and I own all the way up to season 11. Nice. I am not current with Supernatural. I'm several seasons behind. I know, bad me, but I figure I'll have a weekend where I can binge all of the seasons that I'm behind, and that'll be such a cool weekend. So I sort of did it on purpose so that I could watch them all without commercials and just really binge and have a really good time watching them. What We Do in the Shadows. A lot of people really love What We Do in the Shadows, Brian, and I'm not one of them. I tried so hard to like that movie. I watched it I don't know how many times, and it didn't hold my attention. I mean, yes, it's true. Usually when I'm trying to watch a movie, I do have Facebook open and I am in the group doing things. But if a movie's really good, I end up kind of drifting away from the group and watching the movie. If a movie isn't that great, I end up completely ignoring it and listening to some of it and being in the group. And I just couldn't seem to get through it. I may try one more time with no devices and just watch it because I love the cast. I loved the Flight of the Conchords. So, I mean, I loved the cast, but I couldn't get into that movie. Supernatural did have werewolf episode, and it was a female. Agreed, Dog Soldiers is the movie for werewolves. Dog Soldiers was filmed about an hour or two away from me in Scotland. That is so cool, Daniel. That is super awesome. Love that. Oh, can't forget wolves. Adrian, thank you. Yes, we cannot forget wolves. I really like that movie. It does help. You know, Jason Momoa. Oh, I always murder his last name. Jason being in it absolutely does help that movie for me. But I thought he was a super sexy werewolf, and I thought it was a fun movie. I really, really liked that movie. Let's see here. Trick or Treat has my favorite werewolf scene. I love that scene too, Brittany. Absolutely. I love it when she's on top of him and she's all, what big eyes and it's just like, yeah, kill him. I don't know. I love that. Oh my God, I love the originals. I'm watching it again. I'm gonna end up binging that one of these days too. I haven't watched it in a while. Hemlock Grove had some cool werewolf scenes. Very weird random show. It was a very weird random show, but I tend to really like weird and random. So, because it makes it different. It's like, oh, if it's super weird and random, but doesn't completely go off the rails, I'm all in because that means it's different and it's going to be something I haven't seen before. So I absolutely love weird and random. 15 seasons, counting the one coming up, which will be the last. I know, it's so sad, the last season of it. That does make me sad. My Momo made that movie awesome. Hashtag my Momo. Can't forget the wolves in True Blood. No, you can't. Hey, Sandy, how's it going? I'm still looking for that border. I'm still looking. I'm going to do a big internet search after the show, I think, to really, really look. Let's see here. Yeah, so you guys have totally brought up a bunch that I did not have down. I know there's more. Because, Google just doesn't bring them all up. They really don't. Let's see here. What other ones? I know there's more. No problem. So sad they had stopped on the 5th season, though. So the originals, so saddened by, but they did do a spinoff with his daughter, Hope, called Legacies. Did they do a spinoff? I didn't see the last season because my husband had said he'd had enough originals and he didn't really care to watch it anymore. So, I did not finish that, but I do, I would be interested in seeing another. I tried to watch Monster Dog and couldn't do it. I've not seen Monster Dog. Was it that bad? Was Cursed with Christina Ricci brought up? Yes, John. I love Cursed with Christina Ricci. I think it's a fun one. I like Joshua Jackson. I just, I absolutely love that movie. even though, you know, I know a lot of people are not, they don't think it that much of it. Let's see here. Alcide Herveau. Yes. Yes. I absolutely love Alcide. He's quite a catch. I love him in everything he's been in. Let's see here. What else? Creepshow has one story in the movie that looks like an ape wolf-like creature called the Crate. Wayne, that's my favorite with Adrienne Barbeau and Fluffy. I absolutely love the Crate, and he looks like a giant. He does look like a giant white ape, sort of, but you know, crazy teeth. I absolutely love the Crate. But that crate does not look like it would be big enough to put him in it, if you know what I mean. Like, they show the crate and then they show Fluffy, and he's so much bigger. So, I mean, I don't think he would be able to fit in that without, like, seeing hair, you know, because thing opens and you see the eyes or whatever. Thing would open and he would fill the crate. Let's see here. Teen Wolf has Cool Werewolves 2. It gave shot, and I love the storyline. Myra, I completely agree. I thought they did a really, really good job on Teen Wolf the series. It was so much better than I expected. It absolutely was so much better than I expected. I have 2 on my shelf not seen, 13 Hours and Outcast. Those are both werewolf movies, John? An American Werewolf in London transformation scene. Still my favorite. I still think it was very well done. The Howling 2. Carissa, I agree. I agree on both of those. They were both done so well. And I love why. And that's why here in 2019, we're still watching those movies from 1981. I mean, if you think about it, you know, those movies were made in 1981. That's a long time ago. And, you know, so many of us are still like saying, oh, those are the best ones. Even with the updated technology and the updated special effects things and all these things that they can do now. And we're still loving those movies. It speaks to their transformations. Absolutely. You should look up Werewolf TV series on YouTube. It's also called Werewolf 1987 Fox TV series. Thank you, Brian. You know, I watched a British werewolf series, and I forget what it was called. And I liked that. I think it had 2 seasons. I think it had 2 seasons, and I really liked that one too. I wish I remembered what that was called. Yes, the spinoff of the originals is called Legacies. Thank you, Myra. Which has cast members of Vampire Diaries as well. Oh, cool. Eddie Munster. Yes, Eddie Munster is a werewolf. Very cool. Very cool. Late Phases was okay also. Yeah, I really need to watch Late Phases. I've been meaning to, and I need to watch that. I think X-Files had an episode with a werewolf. I think they did too. Well, you're going to have to watch those, John, and let me know. Wasn't there a werewolf movie with Jason Momoa? Yes, it's called Wolves, and I really like that movie. Some people say it's really cheesy. I really like that movie, and I thought Jason made an awesome werewolf. I mean, he makes an awesome Aquaman, but he makes a really good werewolf. I feel a sneeze coming on, but it's like tickling my nose and won't come out. Apparently 2 of them. Let's see here. 81. Yes, before I was born. Let's see here. In 81, I was 8, 9. But yeah, I think it was 8. But yeah, those movies are so good. My collection is sorted by type of horror: vamp, witch, wolf, alien, ghost, zombie. My Asperger's makes it impossible to organize them any other way. You know what? That is an awesome way to organize them, John. I need to reorganize my movie selection. I had to put them in a drawer because my husband didn't want to. He didn't want to see them out anymore, which is totally fine. But I just kind of put them all in a drawer and I didn't organize them. That would probably drive so many of you guys nuts. But since they're in a drawer and I haven't seen them, like they aren't like staring at me, I can forget and not worry about it. Oz from Buffy. Yes. Wolf blood. Werewolves are awesome. Awesome sauce. Have a few. I love werewolves. I think it would be really great, because there was such a huge vampire surge there for a while, and there was so many books being written on vampires, just everything was just vampire nuts. I would love it if they had, kind of a equal werewolf thing. It would be cool to have a werewolf surge, because I think they're such great creatures. You can have such great stories surrounding them, and they can come out during the day. I mean, there's just a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with werewolves that where other types of creatures are more limited. Many of my favorite movies came out before I was born. There was a lot of really, really great movies that came out, and I have quite a few that I really like that came out before I was born as well. Let's see here. The Howling was one of those. Best Part 1. I absolutely love the first Howling, and most movies, even in movie franchises, I love the first one, and then if they do a whole bunch more, usually they're just usually they're not as good. Usually the first is always my favorite. There are definite exceptions, and there are ones that I love the entire franchise. But usually I always love the first one the most. Let's see here. Being Human. Yes, Adrian, thank you. I've watched so many TV shows that I forget which one, they just slip my mind. Goosebumps. Brian, I've not seen the show Goosebumps. I mean, I've caught bits and pieces here and there, but I've never sat down and watched. And I've not actually seen the movie either. I need to do that. The only werewolf film I've seen is Teen Wolf, but I don't think that counts here. It counts. It absolutely counts, Chris. It's a werewolf, right? I love Teen Wolf, the movie. It's a good one. Bad Moon, yes. The TV show, although actually Being Human is great too. I loved Being Human. I actually watched the British version before I watched the American version. I watched the British version before they were even making the American version. And so I preferred the British one. And I wouldn't watch the American one for a while. And then, you know, the British one ended and I finally broke down and watched the American one. And I ended up really, really liking it as well. And it had more seasons, actually. I think the British one only had 3 or 4 seasons, and the American one had at least 5, I think. There was quite a few seasons. Anyway, I absolutely, I appreciated the American one much more after I got into it. And once they started not trying to copy it. Let's see here. I like werewolves. My fiance likes vampires more. I do have to say, I mean, if I had to choose, I usually go vampire route, like movie-wise or whatever. I've got 2 movies. I mean, it depends on my mood, of course. But I usually go vampire route. But I just love both of those creatures so much. I like American Werewolf in London and in Paris. Dawn, I like them both too. Like I said, I actually watched American Werewolf in London, and then I watched American Werewolf in Paris right afterwards. Of course, I was doing the live feed during most of American Werewolf in Paris, but I like them both. Now I have Pumpkinhead on. I love Pumpkinhead. He's a great monster. I want to see When Animals Dream. When Animals Dream. I've not heard of that, Adrian. What is that on werewolves, or what is that about? American Werewolf in London is my fave. Nanette, it's my favorite too. I remember one of my favorite tales from the Crypt called Werewolf Concerto. I don't know that I've seen that one. Is that from the that's from the series, right? I'll have to check that out. Underworld. I love Underworld. Skinwalker. I love Skinwalkers too. The werewolf in Trick or Treat. Absolutely. Absolutely, Dawn. Does anyone remember the episode in Angel where the group of elites were planning on eating the werewolf? The episode disturbed you. I don't remember that one. And I did watch Angel. But I rewatched all of Buffy, but I have not rewatched all of Angel. I'll need to check that out again. Underworld. I love Underworld. I absolutely, and the whole, because each movie has its own mythology and universe as to what, the vampires and the werewolves, if they get along, if one is subservient to the other, yada, 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 all of that. And I liked how it was kind of a war between the two factions, and, I really liked that in Underworld. And I really liked in Van Helsing how the only way you could kill Dracula, like the only way, was with a werewolf. Like a werewolf could kill him. But I mean, staking him, all of that stuff, which would explain how he had survived so long, is because, there was only one way to kill him. I thought that was a really cool twist. Oh, cool, Adrian. Cool. It has a werewolf vibe to it. Yep, it's from the TV series. There's so many. I haven't seen that series in so long. I need to find it streaming somewhere and binge it. That Angel episode is late season 5. Oh, cool. I need to rewatch Angel. I really like the actor that plays Angel. David, his last name starts with a B, Boren something. But I don't want to murder it. You guys know I always murder last names. But I like that actor. Let's see here. Monster Squad is good too. Monster Squad is good fun. Very good fun. And you know, they kind of had a cool werewolf in Fright Night Part 2. I thought they had a really cool werewolf, and you know, I mean, climbing up the walls and stuff. I thought he was cool. Wolf with Jack Nicholson. Absolutely. Absolutely. Boreanaz. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. David Boreanaz. Wolf was amazing. Very underrated movie. And Ginger Snaps. I agree. Transylvania 65000. That, yes, I totally forgot that. He's your second man crush, John. That's great. I love that. He's quite the man. I don't blame you for having a man crush on him. I have a girl crush on him. Let's see here. You know, and well, there's an shoot, why it went in my mind and flew out the other, and it's not really a werewolf movie, but it kind of is gosh darn it, it's a French movie, but you can get it dubbed in English. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Brotherhood of the Wolf. And it, pretty sure that's the name of it. I love that movie. And it's not really a werewolf movie, but it kind of is. Because, I mean, the thing doesn't ever change into a human. And, you know, it's not technically horror, but I absolutely love that movie. And it has some great scenes in it. And it's really different. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Dog Soldiers, Project Metal Beast. You know, Project Metal Beast, I need to see that. Penny Dreadful. I meant to mention Penny Dreadful. Thank you. Wilden? Is that your name? Wilden? I don't want to mispronounce your name. If I said it wrong, I'm so sorry. I loved Josh Hartnett's character in that. I loved how, you know, he was a werewolf, but he didn't really want to be a werewolf. But I was meaning to talk about that one when I kind of got off on a tangent of the originals. Blood and Chocolates. That, let's see here. Hemlock Grove, The Order. Have I seen The Order? I'm gonna have to check that out. I've got my little pen and paper. I gotta write some of these down. Most cheesy werewolf versus vampire woman. You know, nobody has mentioned, what was the one I was thinking about earlier? Werewolf movies. Where is it? Not the werewolf and vampire movies. Werewolves on Wheels. Nobody's mentioned Werewolves on Wheels. And there was another one that I didn't write down. There's the Beast. The Beast Must Die. And I think those are the only other two. Oh, or Werewolf Hunter. Yeah. Yeah, I think those are the only other two. Oh, and look, and then as I'm saying Werewolf Hunter, you said Werewolf Hunter. Beauty. Has anyone seen many accounts of female werewolves? You know, there usually aren't that many accounts of female werewolves. They usually are almost all men. And that's kind of the whole premise of that Bitten show, you know, because they basically said there weren't any women werewolves except the one, which I kind of like because they kind of deal with the whole, you know, why there aren't a whole lot of female werewolves. The Werewolf Boy. I don't think I've seen that. Beauty and the Beast. And that is kind of a werewolf story. That is kind of a werewolf story. I'll give you that. I always love the Beauty and the Beast story. And I always think it's so sad because, you know, he's this grumpy beast because he used to be this man and now he's a beast. I don't know. I always felt sorry for the beast. Ginger Snaps, yes. Let's see here. Ginger Snaps was all women. Yes, that's true, Brian. Ginger Snaps was all women, which was pretty cool, actually. And there was women in the Howling. But it does normally seem like most werewolf movies are women. First, I mean, are not women. You know, they usually are men. So I mean, it is kind of bizarre that you guys mentioned that. Wild Country. It's another one I need to write down. Thank you, Adrian. You are filling up my must-watch list. My Mother's a Werewolf. You know, I haven't seen that either. Howling 2, Sister is a Werewolf. You know, when I watch My Sister is a Werewolf, you know, usually I'm coming off of, when I first saw that, I was so wanting to see like a continuation story from The Howling, and they didn't do that. So I was so disappointed. And I think that kind of stayed with me for a lot of years. You know, same reason why a lot of people don't like Season of the Witch Halloween Part 3, because it was not continued from the first two Halloweens. So, you know, you're like, you turn it on, you're expecting one thing, you get something else, and that can be very disappointing. So I think that's why I was disappointed with The Howling 2 and most of its sequels. But you know, when I turn some of those on now, I'm not thinking I'm going to be watching a continuation from, you know, after they shot her and, oh, what's the other werewolves doing, you know, who survived, all that. So I absolutely can enjoy them more now. Agreed, was very disappointing. Most of, not all, subsequent Howling movies were awful. I have to agree, Jason. Most of them are just not even worth watching. And unfortunately, I mean, they do have a couple okay ones, but you know, none of them had anything to do with the original story, which sort of just bummed me out. Let's see here. Claude has a book of scholarly take from a magical perspective on werewolves called Witches, Werewolves, and Fairy Worlds, Shapeshifters, and Astral Doubles in the Middle Ages. Worth checking out. Thank you. I'm going to write that down. I didn't say his last name because I knew I was going to murder it. Claude, Lecoute. UX. Thank you. Werewolves. All right. Thank you. Hi from Puerto Rico. Hey, Marilyn. How's Puerto Rico? Dark Moon Rising. Yes. Brotherhood of the Wolf. I love Brotherhood of the Wolf. They had some of the coolest fight scenes and some just really cool. And then, and then years later, I'm watching Iron Chef, and the chairman is the Indian from Brotherhood of the Wolf, which just absolutely floored me. I'm like, really? So absolutely cool. Beast, Silver Bullet, Lee Cut 2. That's how you say it? Thank you. Darn small phone buttons. My fingers hit too many buttons too. Let's see here. One of the first King books I purchased was Cycle of the Werewolf, which is adapted for film as Silver Bullet. Still love that flick. Very cool, Jason. I didn't know that that was called that at first. I love Stephen King. I've not read that many of his books. The books I have read, I do love, and I usually end up watching the movies and the miniseries, and I enjoy them all. I love them all, but I need to get back into reading. I have quite a few books that I need to read, that I've even bought that I just haven't got a chance. And sometimes, you end up reading something, and if it's kind of later at night, you end up falling asleep. So, I mean, they are a good sleeping pill. But yeah, I need to get back into reading. Dennis Fear 2 Bloodline. I don't think I've seen that either. Monster Squad, Wolfman's Got Nards. That's so funny. I always think that's so funny. Night Claws. I need to see that. Night Claws. Thank you. I was thinking of another one, and it absolutely escaped me again. I'm having all kinds of thinking about getting it in my head, and then it leaves because I read something else. Sorry about that, guys. So what are we thinking we want to talk about next time? You guys want to give me some ideas? I think The Beast Within. The Beast Within was good. I liked The Beast Within. It has been a long time since I've seen it. "2010 Wolfman" with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro was a decent werewolf movie. I absolutely liked that one a lot, Jason. I thought it was really well done. I mean, it was the classic Wolfman story, Lawrence being the Wolfman. But I absolutely really, really like that one. I could talk about all things Clive Barker at night, both film and movies. Nice. Aliens. We can do a supernatural theme. Like Supernatural the show, or just supernatural, like witches and stuff. Because I was going to suggest witches. Written horror could be a good theme, fiction and such. I'm going to write that down. Written horror. We've got aliens. Horror, supernatural. Clive. I love Clive Barker. Clive Barker. Frankenstein. We should talk about Frankenstein. I'm writing all of these down as possibilities. Witches, haunted houses, and ghosts. Creature movies. Creature movies. Witches, haunted houses, and ghosts. All right. George Romero. Slashers. All right, I have a whole bunch to choose from. And I may just start picking off what you guys said and do one of each. And next Batty Chatty, it won't be Halloween. It will be October. So I think we'll do, I like the witches, haunted house, and ghosts. I love Frankenstein, slashers, creature movie. I love all of these topics. Thank you guys so much for giving me some ideas. It's gonna be one of these. So how's that? Next Batty Chatty, I will be coming to you guys probably from my parents' house. I am they're stealing me away to Idaho for a few days. So I will be coming to you from there. Alrighty. Oh yes, and we may do Halloween theme real close to Halloween. All right. Thank you guys so much. And this was a really great topic. I loved talking werewolves with you guys, and I will see you next time. Mwah! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.